welcome back to the second episode of the things I used to play. And we're gonna get right back into where we left off in the world of Onigiri. There's actually still so much to cover, even though I'm sort of blasting through this world. So let's go ahead and continue where we left off. I don't particularly remember myself, but that's sort of the fun in it. We're either experiencing or reliving this together. Oh, daily logins. Oh. I don't know what this is. This is new to me. My room function. This never actually came. I think this is like super new, like maybe a few months old, but it's already too late. This was the endgame sword thing that I'm using, the materials you needed. So it's actually quite old. So let's see. Where are we going? Ah yes, I need to repair my weapon. Which is perfect because right down here in Ginza Sewers is the next farming spot. So, okay, see, this is where the repair fairy comes in handy. It only gets used if you get a bad repair. So if you don't get a bad repair, it won't actually consume your repair fairy. So, pretty useful. So, after defeating that Tengu guy, oh, I forgot to summon my little archer friend here. After defeating the Tengu guy, the next go-to spot was these sewers right down here. Let me go ahead and give myself a little speed boost. A little boost. And this is sort of the area where you had to just kill these field mobs. These guys provided a lot of experience because they were so much higher level than the average player. The story quest would throw you to this dungeon here, and you had to open up something, I believe, in order to unlock this next area here, which was the farming area. I think. Did I take the wrong portal? Maybe I got them flipped. What did I just do? I know it sounded like I knew what I was talking about. Where the heck did I did take the wrong portal. No way, is it this one? I think so. No, it's a dungeon. Oh, actually, you can even see here that my first attempt was pretty close. I had to take a friend there, and there was sort of a way of cheesing this this dungeon. What you would have to do is you would have to, if you died and you were in a party, you could leave the dungeon, although you'd be dead, and you could walk back in. Now, it didn't reset the number of times you could revive, but what it did do was it made it so you could go back in and fight the boss. So as long as somebody was in the dungeon, they could sort of keep that instance open. I do not remember how to get to the sewer system that I was thinking of. In fact, I am lost. Without that storyline open to me, I don't remember. Maybe it's this way. I'm going to pretend it's this way. I mean, look at these. You can't, like, go up there per se, but that sort of area, that's like a... It's like another area, like with a portal. It's like a new instance. I think it's these sewers. I'm looking for like sewer number 3, I think. I'll try to find it. Okay, well, with great effort, I have found the sewer system, some Marinochi sewers. So, this sewer used to be absolutely packed with parties of 6. People would farm these little mobs here all day. They would pop an experience charm, and these lanterns, although they dealt a lot of damage, they were pretty easy to kill. So ideally, you'd want to kill these little heads. They spawn all throughout the map. This was too dangerous for people to farm because these cats were very tanky, and if they did that pouncing attack, ouch, that would most likely kill you. These little rock sticky things did not provide a lot of experience. However, you could farm these if all the other good spots were taken. There used to be many channels. I don't remember how to change channel select. So as you can see, there's only one channel now, but I think there was like 4 or 5 channels full of multiple parties of 6 people, and experience is shared. So what people would do is they would just farm these mobs. This was the best spot here. It had plenty of very strong mobs, and they were easy to kill, and you could sort of run back and forth. You could kite them and collect your experience that way. This spot over here was only another one of those desperate spots. These guys had a lot of health, and while you could farm over here, most people sort of bobbed and weaved. They killed these little ghost guys, and maybe once in a while, after dealing residual damage, would kill those samurai puppets. But yeah, that was what you would do until you were leveled enough to do the next big dungeon, which I will take you to right now. And this was more or less the first time people preferred to solo carry. There were some duo carries, but at some point, when you hit enough gear and level, you would try to solo carry through pipe number 3. And of course, there were other leeches, so people would join the party, and although you didn't get as much experience or gold as the person carrying, obviously, you still got a pretty good fraction. So if you weren't in a party farming the outside mobs, you're in this party right here, leeching or carrying this dungeon. Oh, let me turn this off. And let's go ahead and see what my 4-star partner can do. I don't remember myself. I can show you the world. Okay, I can be as reckless as I want to with this character, or as I play this map, because I'm definitely over-leveled for this. This is a bow character. Ah, that's right, a support character. I remember now. Alright, I'm actually curious what some of these moves are myself. Oh. Ooh! What is this? This is looking good. Ah, I see, you have to time that. This character's kind of cool. Oh, I missed. What else do I have? Presto. Animato. Oh. What else do I have? Oh. Believe me, I am just as fascinated as you guys are. Oh man. I mean, like I said, this game had a lot of cool characters, a lot of fun mechanics. And again, having this partner swap system gave you access to other weapon types and moves without actually having to play another character. You could play, you know, multiple characters at once, and you know, that was sort of the fun thing about it. Man, that's cool. And again, with characters like this, you don't necessarily need to worry about dying because they are their own unit. Pretty cool. Who this? Give me my buffs. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. We're styling on. Oh, I'm dying. Styling out here. Okay, so that's just a little taste of what this was. Even a 4-star, 3-star. Like, this wasn't like the max tier character. So if you can imagine having a very high leveled top tier character, then most of the time people would admittedly rely on those to sort of do dungeons, but still it wasn't a big deal. We've seen what Tristan can do. Let's check the other partners. Who else do I have? We've seen Lunastasia. I have a level 100 Sanzo. Another very weak character. She's the same tier as Tristan. I think these maid characters, just so you can see, these characters are lower tier. I guess they're lower tier because they were from the story mode. I don't remember if Sanzo was story mode. Genai was story mode, Izuna is story mode. Alright, let's see what Sanzo can do. If I'm not mistaken, I think Sanzo was a support just like Tristan. Although Tristan's pretty cool, I'll be honest, for a support character. And again, I am being a lot more reckless than one would normally be, only because I can definitely take these guys on, but I guess later in the story, when we get to the harder dungeons, then you'll see me trying a little bit harder not to die, and it gives a better representation of what this game was like when you had the gear for your area, and really just how fun it was in order to try and play the game. Something that's carrying me, and actually you can see even though I'm very high level, I am taking some damage, and I'm sort of relying on my ability to heal, but I am taking damage, which does indicate that even with my gear and level, that this dungeon was pretty difficult. Ooh, a silk bag. That is a very good item. Yummy, yummy. Not that it matters anymore. Boop. These items are used to craft or enhance some of your items using some different kind of blessings or enhancements. I guess we can pull out the Sanzo. Here's another issue. Sometimes your NPC partners get stuck, so you have to like unstuck them from their pathing in order to transform into them. I have no clue if that was Buddha Palm! I see. Behold! Is a Specto Patronum. Okay, okay. Oh, so I got Sutra Seal. Okay, so sort of like a Buddhist influence. I have no clue what that was. Oh, so I got... Ah, oh no, my glasses. Sounds good to me. Ah. Take this! I do want to see what this does. Is this a counter? Oh, it is. Hey, that's kind of cool. The Great Kinjoki. Oh man, that's cool. I am having a blast playing this. Some mobs you could ignore if you wanted to speed things up, but generally you'd want to kill everything just to maximize your experience. However, these guys were a little bit harder to kill. I believe people would ignore the ones back there. I don't remember if you have to kill them in order to advance. But then this is sort of where Sword and Twin Swords began to shine, because this boss in particular was weak to lightning. So it made Thunder Beast the best move to use, and it became the standard ever since, because it hit multiple times and he was a very big target. You can kill these eyes, and wow, I'm actually surprised that lived. You can kill these eyes, and because they would follow you. He had like a rotation, as most bosses do, but yeah, that was that dungeon. This used to be a ton of experience. So there's that dungeon, and I guess I'll continue on to the next one. I'm having a blast playing through this again. What am I going to use next? I'm going to save Musashi because she's actually broken. I can rock my favorite character, Gawain. Let's rock Gawain. Even though Musashi was almost definitely better, I like Gawain. One of the problems is Gawain is fire holy, and one of my elements is holy. I'm lightning holy, so you know I have two overlapping elements, which isn't ideal, but fire's okay. It's not the worst element. I think the worst element is probably wind. The axe class in this game could use ground effectively, but it was the only class that could use ground, so generally also a pretty bad element. Which is why like light and holy are probably like the best elements. There's like other technical things like slicing and there's like slice, pierce. It's like these elements here, slice, pierce, and something else. Slice was used for certain moves. You can see here that that's a slicing, that's slicing. I think it's impact. I think the blue one is impact. So it looks pretty bad because I have minus impact here. I have minus impact. You want to have like a positive on whatever element you're using, but that's fine. I still do hella damage. Let's see, what's the next spot after this? So after farming, you would again wait for the next update for the content to come, but in the meantime you would sort of do story mode. Part of the story mode is down here. Oh, and something important about like a lot of the sewers did have other mobs, like this room for example, but these mobs are way more dangerous. The room that we were just in, the mobs were not nearly as dangerous. So it was the most efficient and effective way to farm with multiple people. I guess if you had a decent geared party, a party of 6, you could farm this room, but it is not something that I saw much of. We're going to take a peek at Satan, who comes a little bit later in the story. this is like the dumbed down version of Satan, and he later escapes, and you have to fight the real version, and you get like these really good weapons, which used to be endgame weapons until these Abyss weapons came out, the ones that I'm using, and then these became the new sort of standard. Oni, you'll see this for the first time here. Oni is a higher tier difficulty from hell. It has like restrictions on it, so like it limits your SP usage, your item usage, so on and so forth. I believe there's a time limit as well. So this dungeon used to be very, very difficult. I used to do this with a party of a few of my very good friends, and you absolutely needed dark in order to do this dungeon. You would also need to know when to block, so on and so forth. And the pillars did massive damage. Oops. Like here, you'd want to get out. I'm paralyzed, there we go. I didn't know I used that move already. Okay, so obviously I can blow this guy away, but these Omen weapons were top tier at the time. I believe their requirement was 108, and when you get the next tier of them, there was a star, and then there was a cross. So one tier was the lower tier, it's like 108, then the next tier was 113, and then the next tier up is 120, I want to say, maybe 118. But that was much, much later in the game when those were released. So these weapons became the gold standard. These Satan weapons, and you'd farm this guy over and over again. And if you didn't have dark moves at the level that this guy was released at, then you were in big trouble. You sort of had to rely on these freezing techniques and, of course, resurrection. I think resurrection may have come later in the game, but you had resurrection items. So yeah, that's a little sneak preview at the lower tier form of Satan. Let's continue. Repair once again. Probably not necessary, but why not? Takes a lot of money to repair higher tier weapons, but again, most people are capped on money, so at least there was something to spend it on. Am I right? Am I right? Also, I don't believe you can gain this partner bar in open world like this, or else you just farm this much more easily. I believe this takes us to the castle. It does. Takes us to that really big castle I was talking about earlier. This is the inside. You can't really go like up levels per se, but it's just full of just a really big plaza. We were over there, and yeah, got its own little theme song rocking. This was purely for story mode. There was really no reason to do anything in these castles. A lot of these dungeons, in fact, there are many dungeons that I don't even know because I never touched them. They were never used for farming. They were never used for story mode. They were only there for perhaps some specific drops, but again, one of the issues is the drops in this game, some of the dungeons overlapped, and it made it obsolete to try to do those dungeons. It's just, you know, there's no reason when there's a much more efficient dungeon to do it in. After this, I don't really remember, so let's go ahead and take the portal just to jog my memory what happens in our wonderful quest in Onigiri. I do want to take you to a specific dungeon, which was also a very popular dungeon to do. I want to say it's in Kaga. This music is so nostalgic. It is Doo-doo. People would always go to this guy. He had something called bargains. The sunrise weapons? What the heck is that? He had bargains, and sometimes he'd sell a revive item, which he does not. Oh, interesting. He does not have it, so I'm not buying anything. This entire area here, as far out over there, all over the place, over there, was full of stalls. People selling Magatama and items from this area. There were just so many people. And this little tunnel over here was just packed with people all throughout this little circle, and they would all try to form parties or look for a carry for this dungeon right here. This is where actually I met most of the friends that I made on this game, is in this dungeon right here. While you could solo this dungeon at lower levels, this is where the spear became a very popular item. I'll show the spear a little bit later on my other character. The spear was one of the first sort of AoE weapons that did not require an Ogi. And again, Ogis are these special moves down here, which at the time there weren't many. So some of the Ogis that I'm using now are a little newer, I want to say. But at the time there weren't that many, so a lot of classes did not have these AoE moves like this move that I just used. The Thunderlance is relatively new, and in terms of the Onigiri world, and the alternative was a light version of that move. It was a holy move, but one of the issues with the holy move is that it maxed out on about 1,000 force, as you can see here. Even at level 27, this is 1.6 times that force and can only get stronger. So unfortunately, like any kind of game, you know, it gets power creep. So let's go ahead and check out Gawain. This is my favorite character, and this move was absolutely broken. It was in iframe, and it is unbelievably strong. And of course, the next best part is you can give her buffs, so you could just keep buffing her up. Eliminator! Oh, I should have kept clicking that. Boom! Absolutely devastating. I have both my buffs on right now. Let's see, what else do I have? Watermelon Smash. This is actually just a joke. You don't actually want to use this. And then it's a random hit. Boom! And she has like this cool sort of stabby move that's AoE, or range, sorry. So, you know, I mean, you don't really use this character for range, but she can self-buff, fire and holy, and yeah, really my favorite character. I absolutely love Gawain. I also have a magic broom. I think we saw Tristan using that earlier. Oh, I can play games with myself. What is this? Oh my goodness! I did not remember that one. I remember this one. Oh, I missed. I'm gonna keep playing. That's fun. Take this! Oh, I missed. Alright, we're gonna keep going, ladies and boys. Wait. Ladies and gentlemen. Take this! I missed. Dang it. Turns out that's kind of hard to hit with. Ah, I got it. Hey. Take my sunrise. Alright, let's just blow him away. Give myself a couple of buffs. Take this, my love, my hate, and all my sorrow. Shining finger! And then we'll play a little bit of ping pong. Oh, I'm terrible at this game. Oh, I missed. But that's a little taste of Gawain. We'll really see her shine when we fight bigger bosses. Because her super move is absolutely insane. And here we'll see the... Oh right, more people spawn. I forgot about that. We'll see the giant spider boss. This was actually... Or not a spider, it's like a giant ant. It was really fun. This guy was... Okay, maybe not as giant as I remember him being. Let's just... You could infinitely spawn these papers and they would keep dropping items. It was an inefficient way to farm items. But with something like this that you could keep spamming, and not only is it an iframe, but it is you can heal off of it if I got a crit because of my Magatama. It just makes Gawain an insane character. And she has Shining Finger. Oof, I'm having a ton of fun playing this game. I hope you guys can sort of see the just how much depth this game had. It had fun characters, cool weapons. Maybe the design, like the outfits, weren't so much. So it wasn't so much about customizations, but the way you could design your character, like the weapons that you use, you can have different elements and you can run it however you wanted to. The amount of options that this game did have to offer is just so vast, and allowing you to have this partner system that lets you play another class to sort of get a sense of their playstyle. Like perhaps you wanted to try, you know, what a greatsword movement and skills felt like. Although Gawain's skills, not all of them are shared with a greatsword user, as I explained before. I think it would be a little more accurate to say that Lunastasia, as you saw in my part 1 video, had skills that were a little more closely related to a greatsword user. There were some unique skills that Luna had. Gawain mostly has unique skills, but some of her moves, I believe, like the giant fireball, was a skill that greatsword users had. So it gives you a sense of sort of the movement and play style. You have slow, regular attacks, again, because you're spamming your skills here. It was not likely you were going to be using those normal attacks. But let's continue to the next area. Just let the music rock. Again, these areas are so vast, and if we hit M, there are so many dungeons. People wouldn't be necessarily spamming these dungeons. There was not a lot of point because the items weren't too useful around here. It was mostly just other places to go and do dungeons, but it wasn't very popular, which is why I guess certain areas were crowded. So one sort of popular area is Plover Pit. I've done this dungeon many times. This drops an item that allows you to craft the healing Magatama, the thing that allows me to heal with every crit that I get. It drops one of the materials for it, so it was actually very, very important to do this dungeon. There were some others, but this one in particular had a few people were running this because there were other dungeons that that were easier to do than this in terms of in terms of overall difficulty, then ow. Then this dungeon was only for people that wanted to farm the material, but also to gain experience, because this dungeon is sort of the same level as the secluded forest that we were just in. So it was a decent alternative. It was sort of a 2-for-1. This dungeon was a little bit harder and a little bit longer, but it had that chance at that one material that people wanted. These shoes are a little bit annoying. When they're in the air like that and they're flipping, they're actually invincible. So sometimes you wouldn't be able to kill them for a while because they wouldn't stop jumping. Or you would just burn a really powerful skill, and obviously I can just like put my own SP back up with my own skill, but this was at a time before really efficiently being able to do that was a thing, so you would have to ask like a friend to give you some support. I'm just blowing through this dungeon right now, but just to show you a little bit of what it was like. Oh, I can kill with my regular attack. Take this! Is there a jumping attack? Yeah, I remember that. No! Alright. I will get this. Take this! And let's just iframe through this. Oh wait, no, this one. Oh yeah, that's good. Alright, I'm gonna get this. I missed. Okay. Come on, Gawain. Gawain! Okay, well. Oh yes, Gawain has a passive ability that she can randomly buff herself if she attacks or kills. I don't remember which one it was. Ah. Go away. Go away. Oh, it has a little explosion at the end if you get it right. Alright, that was the first time I actually completed it. Hey! Wonder how strong it is. Well, let's just get rid of these guys. I was unbuffed as well. 3,000. That's actually very high. Oh my goodness. And that's like sort of a unleveled move, and it's hitting for that much. That's pretty impressive. I got distracted and I'm lost. I think it's this way. Use my dashes to get where I need to go. I lied. Ah, over there. There's the tab target thing I was talking about earlier. You can target things from super far away. Very useful. If I could find my way. Don't worry, I'll find it eventually. Okay, I think this is it. Sushi. Ah, yes. Alright, here we go, Gawain. Let's see, I'll use the holy version. Oh, I lied. There we go. Just total overkill. What else do I have? Ah yes, you can gamble and get a random buff. Oh yeah. So, turns out Gawain can buff herself up to 3 times. On top of her passive to randomly buff herself. Alright, let's see what kind of damage I'm doing. Okay, not very fair, but these mobs are weenies. I believe we're almost to the end. This music is actually very iconic. That's sort of like the boss music, I think. So like, normally you reach a certain stage and you fight the boss, and after you defeat the boss, then the dungeon is over. But I think in this case you just defeat all the mobs that spawn, and then that's it. I don't think there's a boss in this map. I knew where to go, so that's why I wasn't roaming those hallways. I just buffed myself. Let's give myself another random buff. Oh, hell yeah. Alright boys, we're looking good. Take this! Oh, juicy, juicy damage. And that's it. I think. Is that it? I feel like that was it. Is this a giant mirror? No, it's a 9-tailed fox. Oh, that's right. Boop. Little box card. And your rewards. And that was another one of the dungeons. Along our path to Echigo, which is one of the snow maps, I showed you that map earlier. I forgot to show you sort of the route that was taken to get there. Your buff bar is down here. So these are the buffs that I currently have. Just a little look at what this game was. A little bit empty on parts like this, but you know, you have little details in the background that are sort of cool to look at. Sky's moving, you know, it's not like a Google image. First line, second line. Yeah, I think it's the second line here. We're gonna get to the even later in the game, if you needed money, or Rio as it's called in this game, you came to this dungeon over here. This was a big money dungeon. It had decent weapons, especially for twin swords. One of the best twin swords in the area dropped from this dungeon. And it would be quite good until maybe around the sewer levels that I showed you earlier. Of course, you can really stretch out how long you use a weapon depending on how well you play and how well you can manage your durability. Durability consumption is based on the skill that you use. Was it? No, it was not Jellyfish Cave. fact, people tried to, because you couldn't repair your weapons, people were trying to see how quickly you could repair your weapon after completing the dungeon a certain number of times. You would have to run past this next section into the town to repair and then run all the way back. So people just found out if you just took off all your items and died to a mob, you would respawn in town, and that was faster than running all the way back. So this was the dungeon that everyone would run for money, I think. Did I get this wrong? No, no way. Would definitely have a double S on this. Was it third line? It was third line. I'm sure the name will jog my memory. No, not Marlin's Den. Maybe it was third line. Something that doesn't help is the scenery is a little more or less the same kind of mobs. The placement's a little bit different. There should be frogs, I believe. Like big frogs. Right around this bend here. Or maybe it was that bend over there. I think that's over there, those big frogs. There's the rift. It wasn't here, because you'd have to run. Huh. It wasn't that. Okay, here are frogs and crabs. Okay, frogs. This is a good sign. I think we're at the dungeon. I think a lot of this game so far has been me trying to remember what the hell, which dungeon it was. Yes, Hermit Crab Grotto. That's right, I remember now. So, if you wanted money, you did this dungeon. And my Gawain's already up, so I'll use Gawain as much as possible just to preserve... well, let's just swap Gawain out. Gawain is great for big bosses, but not so much for AoE. I think I'm going to switch to... let's bring out Luna. Luna's kind of cool. I did like Luna a lot, but she was... even when she was released, she was a little bit underwhelming in terms of damage, but again, it's really just to make up for any kind of type coverage you might be missing. So, it was whatever. Luna had the ability to deal ground, but she also deals holy, so... oops, no, I don't... there was good sushi in there at the time. You would... if you needed sushi, you could come into this room and pick that up. Yeah, so Luna would deal some ground damage, but it wasn't the most important. I'm not swapping to Luna now because if you swapped to a character before you went into the next room, then you would automatically swap back and your meter would go back down to 0. And I know that's the end of this room, or little section here. So that move right there And this move here, I believe that Claymore users did have the ability to use these, or sort of access to it. They didn't have this move. That's generally for Twin Sword and Sword users. These ants are a little bit annoying because they can burrow, and when they're burrowing you can't hit them. Wind Slash was also a decent move to use on Oodachi, which just, you know, it's just the great swords. Although, let's just stick with that for now. While every move is sort of a one-hit kill, it's just much more effective AoE-wise. So to make these dungeons a little bit faster, we'll just stick with the AoE moves. Which one was it? I think it was this one. No, it's not that one. It wasn't Wipeout. I think it's Dividing Force. Yeah, there we go. So many different moves to pick from. Just looking back at this game, running through these dungeons brings me back all the hours and hours and hours I spent doing this dungeon. And this game in general, I guess. Even when there was nothing to do, I logged in for, I don't know, maybe another year, even after I was sort of done. Just hoping that something would, you know, eventually come out. Always wishful thinking. Of course, there's the boss music. This guy has no clue. None. I don't think this has... I think I can actually hit him even though he's out of range, because it's not really a target move. Just this version, let's see. Yeah. That one was weird. And here, these chests had stones in them. So on top of money, it drops stones, which you would need for crafting. And I got nothing. Great. Alright, let's get out of here and continue our journey. So, I'll take you through the sort of the walk that you'd have to do to repair your weapon. Crystals were not invented yet in Onigiri, so they didn't have that option. You had to run or die, as I explained earlier, in order to get back to town. And the secret to this is you actually had to get to the town first, because then it would register as your new sort of respawn checkpoint. So you'd have to get to the town first. So you'd have to get to town anyway to repair once. Then after that you could die, respawn in town, and then run back. So I'm sure you recognize this little ice town. We were in here earlier. Just repair my stuff. I could probably stretch the repairs a lot longer, but you know, why not? There's some dungeons over here. Even though the town may not seem like a lot. There's always dungeons like tucked away. I think there's like a giant ice monster in this one. And I believe this guy... No, this guy took you to the giant ice monster. I think. Yeah, get out of the way, sucker. Tiamat? I think. Some kind of behemoth. A boss monster. Let's go check it out. I don't know when they added these achievements, but I've definitely been here before. What partner do I want to bring out? Ivis? She was from Cosmic Break, same game as Luna. I guess I could summon other people. I have these scrolls that I never ended up using. Just because I didn't care to use them. Sure, let's use Ivis for now. My Ivis is not very geared, but that's not an issue, because, you know, we won't be using her too much. So I said geared, but that's inaccurate. So what it is in order to level up your character, you need to feed them friendship items, and you also needed to roll multiple of their scrolls in the gacha. So again, these characters are gacha. I don't remember if they gave Ivis or if they gave tickets for the gacha for you to roll Ivis. I don't remember how. She appeared like one more time, I believe, and it was like as a promotion for the Cosmic Break universe. But she's pretty cool. I believe her element is Dark and Slice. I think it was Dark and Slice. So she's already built up, so let's go ahead and... Oh, she's Dark and Fire. And I think those chains around me are like a buff. Okay. I only have one weapon. So, as I was saying, the weapons sort of... your ability to equip more weapons is based on how many scrolls you unlock. The more scrolls, the more weapons, the more skills. Maybe not skills per se. They're higher ranked skills, but... actually no, skills maybe as well, but higher rank skills and longer time. So you can see here, my time is almost out, and to maximize it, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that form just so I can build her meter again. But yeah, you would need to roll multiple scrolls in order to increase that partner's efficiency, I guess is the best way to put it. And depending on how many mobs you can kill, that sort of builds their meter. I believe the criteria is actually as long as you consume durability, which means I could actually stand here and spam these skills and it should build her meter. I believe it builds the meter. Like, I don't want to stand there spamming skills, but sometimes, like, if you were in a desperate situation, that's what some people would do. They would just like spam skills, and their partner pretty much acted as like a second life, and a lot of people would save their partner swaps until the boss, and sometimes your partner would get one shot, and it was like pretty sad because you were saving up all that time just to use your partner, but you know, they get blown away. little trick with the bow was you could actually hit tab as you were firing and it would actually swap to the next target. Let's see if I can do it. No, messed up. Gotta do it here. There it is. Like that. I don't think a lot of people knew that. It's not a terribly useful skill. But it was a little something I learned. Because the tab targeting is a little finicky. Oh, what's this boss music? Oh, I forgot this guy's name. Like Oppenheimer, I believe his name was? It is. Did I kill him? Oh. So this spear here, Geno Buster, at the time was one of the best spears for spear users, obviously. I thought this was Tiamat. I guess I got the dungeon confused. Or maybe you fight Tiamat now? I believe this is where you fight Tiamat. Or whatever the dragon guy is. Yes. My memory serves me. I forgot you fought Oppenheimer before the actual behemoth guy. And block. Yep. Oh, he died. Whoops. Anyway. It was a little anticlimactic, but yeah, there you have it. So today we've sort of revisited the Echigo area because I forgot some of the dungeons leading up to this place. I showed off some of the partners, and I've shown you sort of the main grinding areas, and around that time you're probably going to hit like 100, 105, so it's not too far off on the level. Leveling does get harder, just like in any game, exponentially. And on the next episode, we're going to go ahead and check out, let's see, oops. So right after the whole Echigo sewer system, maybe, which is here, we have the Echigo Torikudo, this is where we just were. Ginza, Edo is sort of like the steam, where that castle is, like sewers. Kusatsu, I don't remember if it's Tanegashima or Kusatsu. I do know that Oshu Highway and the Merit Imbrium are the last sort of maps available. Check out Kusatsu. Okay, no, this was the onsen. So this was before. Okay, so I went here. Okay, so our next destination is Oshu. What is Tanegashima? Alright, boys. Let's check this one out. Ah, yes, I remember this. This was sort of like a little sub-island. It wasn't too important. So the importance of this island... Oh, I completed a quest. This little symbol over here means that's like a quest complete, so I can pick up whatever the quest that is. Let's go ahead and do that. What do you want? Sweet. Oh, never mind. I'm over it. This is sort of like a side dungeon. There weren't a lot of important things on this place. One of the maps, which I will show you in the next episode, one of the dungeons gives, right after the Hermit Crab Grotto, this was the next best place to farm gold. And I'll show you what that's like in the next episode. It was a lot faster, so much more efficient. Where's Yoshitsu? Dang, she's over there. Alright, she's over by the entrance. Well, that's cool. I can probably rock this durability. It's not long at all, so alright, well, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next episode of the games I used to play, Onigiri.